Welcome back. I'm Tony.
I'm Louie.
And this is Talking During the Movie.
It's the Talking During the Movie podcast with your hosts, Louie Gravance and Tony Whitten.
Hey, we are back. It's been a long summer. I've missed you.
I missed you too. It's a long, dry summer.
It has, not only weather-wise, but movie-wise as well. And even the theater that I normally go to has been like under construction and it's impossible to get to. So there hasn't been like the motivation to go out and like see it was like, it's not worth the effort.
It started out with a bang, but you, of course, as most of these people know, you are a more casual yet discerning moviegoer as opposed to myself, who just sees any piece of trash.
Right, and I like that dichotomy, though. I think that works well. So we apologize for the long drop, but we are back, and we have a movie I think you're going to like.
Really? You talk first. You talk first.
It's The Walk, the latest Robert Zemeckis movie about a French high wire artist, Philippe, who decided in 1973, I believe it was, 73, 74, to string a wire between the two towers in New York City, the World Trade Center towers, and high wire wall.
Before they were even completed, I believe.
Before they were even completely completed, 1,300 feet up in the air. And this is based on a true story. So I think I really enjoyed it, actually. Yeah.
Right before we started, you were explaining to me how your girlfriend has an irrational fear of being trapped in space, hence she will not see...
There are certain movies she will not see, like The Martian. She didn't see Interstellar or Gravity. She's not going to see those.
Okay,
She's never going to be trapped in space, but it is a real fear nonetheless.
I have a bone-chilling, teeth-rattling, my fear of heights is quite nearly irrational.
This is the worst movie to see for that because it's purposely designed to give you vertigo.
I literally will just like get on my knees and cry if I'm in like one of those. Literally, I just get. In fact, there was a point in this movie I thought I might just have to do that. Just have to put my head down and cry.
Don't go to the CN Tower in Toronto. There's this whole glass floor where you just look straight down.
I can't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
But I should say, having said that, I'm aware this is a spectacular movie. And it's spectacularly made, and many, many great things about it. I went to see it out of dedication, knowing it was probably going to be uncomfortable. But I just got to tell you, it was a freaking white knuckle ride. It's beautifully done. He's adorable.
He is rather adorable.
Oh my gosh, he's adorable. And I don't think
he nails the accent.
Yeah, I don't think this movie's getting enough buzz. I
don't think so either.
I think it deserves a much bigger buzz than it's getting.
I was sold when the trailer came up because they have those visuals of him on top of the towers, and you see the rest of Manhattan.
That's what I knew I should
Old Manhattan.
Right.
Just off in the distance.
Well, and a great sentimentality, for lack of a better term, about the towers, as well as sort of an underlay. I wouldn't say it's an overlay. It's sort of a subtext.
Well, I believe that is part of the true story, is that a lot of people, when the towers were first going up, did not like the towers. They were ugly, they were plain, there were these giant just metal crates going up. But this guy kind of, he made them likable. He humanized them, and then people suddenly were like, oh, we love the tower.
For people who might think, it was cheap to sentimentalize the towers, there's no way to look at them and not, it's sort of like looking at Maryland and not knowing what's going to happen. We're not looking at a picture of somebody who's now once was beautiful. There's no way to unsee what you've seen.
Right.
So,
well, they know that going in too.
But it's just there. I don't think you're slammed over the head with it. I think it's just sort of there.
But they keep coming back to that visual, like the interesting choice of having the narration in the beginning. It almost starts off like a fantasy piece.
Now there is a cancer in movies right now, and it's rampant this year, rampant. And as beautiful as this movie is, there was a bit of malignancy in it that would have to. And you know what it is?
What is it?
Wigs.
They've always had wigs.
No, but this year, some of the worst performances by wigs in the history of... Well, in the last couple of days. For example. Avalanche. Everest.
Yes.
A remarkably made motion picture. To each and every detail, and yet both of the female stars are wearing wigs you wouldn't see at a Ren fair. I don't understand what's going on. And
You think they could spend the money?
well, and money must not be the issue. What is it? Are there just not enough craft? Is it a lost art? What is the deal? But he is adorable in every single way, but sometimes that wig he is wearing looks like a swimming cap. I'm sorry, I hate to be
I just chalked it up to bad hair
About
in
it.
the 70s in Europe, you know? Yeah, I wasn't there.
No, okay, we had bad hair, but nobody had hair that looked like, I mean, no, it's clear. You did not notice that he was wearing a really bad wig.
It just looked like bad hair, but a lot of... Did you see? The clothes were all bad
Well,
back
see,
then.
and you are why
Yeah.
the art has descended to this, because it's you.
Oh, it's my fault.
Well, partly because you were
because we're like,
you're you should have
who
higher
cares?
standards than this. I could go down almost
well,
so many.
what would you rather them spend the money on? The amazing visuals of the height and the dizziness and rebuilding what's no longer there, or spending an extra $100 on the wig?
That's a totally opposite way of looking at it. You could say,
I'm
why
saying
would you
there's a
spend
budget.
all this money
There's a budget.
on everything that you just said and not
I'm
get a
saying-
wig that doesn't look like you got it at
I'm saying you got to go to the producers and justify. We spent
Fredericks
$10
of
million
Hollywood thing.
on the visuals, which I think you will find stunning, and we also spent $150,000 on wigs.
It is.
And we're gonna need $250,000.
It is everywhere in film this year, and they're everywhere.
Really, a friend of mine
From
that I used to
Straight
work
Outta
with
Compton-
just got an award for wigs and makeup, an Emmy for it.
What? Emmy, that's different. That's TV.
I'm just saying, it's not a lost art.
Well, I'm telling you, it's been really bad this year. And I again, you really should go see this movie. And if
Try
you have
to
a fear of
ignore the
heights-
bad wigs.
Yes, and it is blood curdling. It is just
Yeah, if you don't like heights, this is not the movie for you.
because you think, okay, I got through it. But if you know anything about it, you're like, oh no, please make it stop. Make it stop. Because you've seen the preview. You know he walks
right,
on the
yeah,
wire.
and this is not giving anything away.
You know
they
he's
take
gonna
you
walk
out on the wire. They take you out and down, and it is amazing. It looks fantastic, as if you are up there. And I'm sure he was never in any danger whatsoever, but it is amazing the visuals that they come up with.
No, he's probably more
This-
in
this
danger
is a
doing
movie
that
you want-
mime work on the street.
You
It's probably
want
more
to
dangerous.
you want to see this on the big screen. You want the spectacle of it.
Yeah, this is worth the
Because-
IMAX thing. Did you see
Yeah.
the IMAX?
I did not, but I saw it on the big screen. I saw like
Oh
the
my
ETX and all that extra
yeah.
stuff, but not
So
IMAX.
IMAX 3D. It
Yeah.
was. It made
That's the way to go. Is you
it
got to see it on
made
the big
it
screen.
even my scrotum completely went
Right.
into my lungs.
Even if you got a big TV, it's not quite the same. You want the big screen.
Well,
and I like that it's not a huge Star Wars space battle spectacular special effects. They're almost subtle. I mean, they're special effects, but it's done so well that you're like, oh, wow, you're there. But it's
sometimes they even
it's not
play with the
flashy flashes.
theatricality that
Yeah.
you know that
It is a subtle spectacle.
that they go off the realism sometimes just for you to
Yeah, there is that fantasy element with him, kind of narrating the story, and they keep cutting back. Yeah.
At first, it feels like one of the attractions at Epcot.
It does
when he
a little
first
bit.
comes out, and he's
Yeah.
standing.
I almost
on the
expected Mark
statue.
Twain to come
Hello,
out.
here I am. It's like, oh my
Right.
god, it's like Epcot, and then doesn't it feel like
It
that?
does. I'm like-
and then he goes down, and you see
Yeah.
him sort of doing the Frenchy things.
Yeah,
you see
and
that
I'm
you
like,
see-
this is an odd choice, an odd direction to go in. But all right, let me see where you're going with this. Yeah, it could have been a bit more straightforward, but they do introduce this little kind of Epcot-y fantasy element to it to tie it all together.
And like Black Mass, a whole different subject, but seeing that film made me want to see the documentary and made that experience richer. And now you can see the documentary, which is sort of classic, I think, called
Man on Wire.
Man on Wire.
Yeah,
And
2008, I
I
believe.
think I'd have a much deeper appreciation for it. But my God, it just made me sick. I mean, it's so weird to say, go see this. It was horrible. But
It's like, oh, this tastes bad. Try it.
oh
No, no,
God.
it's-
I mean, just
it-
even
it
thinking
tastes
about
great.
it,
It's-
even thinking about it, it just completely.
Yes, if you have
Tenses
an
me up.
aversion, I'd hate to say no, because it really is a
calm, so
cinematic
just-
experience. But if you have anything about heights, there's even a character in there that does have a fear of heights. But if you can overcome that and just put it in your mind that this is a movie, I do recommend seeing it.
Besides the wig, there is one glaring flaw.
Despite the wig,
Despite the wig,
is it the makeup you're going to go on this?
no, it has
There you go.
nothing to do as frivolous as that. It's deeper.
Deeper.
It's deeper.
What's your flaw with it?
Okay, again, it counts on ignorance, because this is going to be so ridiculous, but it's true. I knew that those guys that are his accomplices, I knew they were really from France and Parisian. That girl, our heroine, she's not from Paris. And if you have any kind of thing, if you know anything about the French accent at all, she's clearly Canadian.
I did have some trouble with the accents, like Ben Kingsley, who's normally great.
Well, he's just doing that's sort of a Jodie Foster homage to, I'm just going to throw a bunch of accents in there.
It was a little
But
all
I'm Ben
over the
Kingsley, so
place.
who's going to argue? I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to assume that he studied and knows exactly what it...
No offense to the great Mr. Ben Kingsley, but
How do you know?
was that a director's choice?
How do you...
The accents were a little off.
How do you know? I don't know what that
little-
accent should be like literally. Do you?
Well, it kind of modulated a little bit. It wasn't
smell
consistent.
a Canadian, I can tell you right now.
You know, you can look that up on the internet now.
I did find out, and she is indeed from Montreal.
Yeah, you know what? Joseph Gordon-Levitt isn't French, so.
No, but I understand that he's moved there and lives there and is just completely queer for the French. I'm just saying.
You can fake it.
You think
in the movies?
But you think she should have put on a Parisian French accent layered onto her Canadian French accent?
If that's what they wanted, maybe they didn't. They're just you're French enough.
We're nitpicking.
Is that? Yeah, that's not really the point of the film.
Wear some really tight underwear, go and white knuckle it, and just really. I did that. Yeah. I did that during it, literally.
I loved it. I felt like I was out flying above the ground. It was amazing.
Which is exactly what I would hate.
Yeah.
So
that was amazing.
Oh Jesus! I haven't felt that horrible. I haven't felt that horrible since I talked myself into going parasailing. What the was I thinking?
Yeah, what were you thinking?
Well, I thought I'm going to overcome my fear. It was a stupid, horrible thing to do.
That's a terrible way to overcome
600
your fear.
feet. It was horrible. It made it worse. It's so quiet up there. It's so quiet, and that's what I thought about when he's up there at this point. It gets is the most horrible silence you'll ever hear.
Yeah, it's done really well. Now, what's interesting is that they build up a lot of tension. It's fairly a simple story. There's really not a lot of action going on, not a lot of plot going on or twists or anything.
Well, they cut a huge,
there was a lot of setbacks in real life that they had to overcome.
It wasn't sort of hey, now I'm right. There were a lot more steps to it, but come on.
Yeah, so they had, just because the movie would have been so long if they covered everything. But they do a really good job of taking a fairly simple story, fairly straightforward, and then building up this nice tension, and then adding all these elements in and all these things that he has to overcome to get this wire across to accomplish.
For a second, I thought I was having a panic attack just talking.
Just now?
Yeah, I did.
Look down. You're on the ground, Louis. You're on the ground. Go to your safe place. Go to your happy place.
So, go see it. It's truly.
Oh, highly recommended. Oscar worthy.
I don't think so.
Special
I
effects?
think
At
so.
least visual effects.
I think so, but
it's not going to get no one's going to get nominated for acting.
There's no suffering.
The acting is fine,
I don't know that it's
but
got
it's
the
not.
cause
It's not the
celeb.
quality.
I don't know that it has the cause celeb for that, but again,
it should be recognized for at least a couple.
It should be, so that's why we think you should go see it.
Oh yes,
if you can,
if you dare. All right. This was good. Good to see you again. I'm glad we can do this again. I had people even ask me, when's the next one? I said, I think we're coming up with the
You know what?
soon.
Now I think I can figure out a way to attach it to my blog.
Yeah.
I get caught.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to.
I get
copy the little.
I usually get at least a couple
HTTP.
hundred reads on the blog, and then they get moved to PopRupt, and a lot of people read it on that. But I don't know how I can attach it to that.
Well, you can. It's all computer stuff. Just figure it out.
I
get one of those IT guys. Come on.
I will.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. Louis, we're not done yet.
We're not.
Where are you going? We got to say goodbye. You've got to pay homage. You've got to pay respect to the audience.
I thought
you have to pay respect to
we'd
the
already
audience.
cut.
Without the audience, there is no show.
Nice callback.
Thank you.
But I thought we were done.
Well, we've got to say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. We pay respect to the audience. Until next time, I am Tony.
I'm Louis.
And thank you for watching Talking During the Movie.